Bitcoin got this huge breakout towards the downside. Well, it is looking like Bitcoin whales are right now dumping their Bitcoin. So what are going to be the next levels of support to have a look in towards for Bitcoin? The Bitcoin market sentiment is right now definitely flipping fearful, and we are getting a huge buy signal right now. So we need to be talking about that exactly. So can we once again push up the likes back above the 100 likes? That will be absolutely amazing. And as always, let's have a look in towards that short term. And yes, yesterday we were having a look into this symmetrical triangle being created on top of massive support. So personally, honestly, I was actually thinking that we were gonna be seeing some kind of a bounce before eventually seeing that breakout either towards the upside or towards the downside. But we already got this break towards the downside right now. But do remember that last week we actually got this news from Mt. Gox that they will be starting to repay their customers, which will be happening in July. And of course, right now July has just started. So is Mt. Gox right now starting to dump their Bitcoin right now? Well, honestly, I do think that there is going to be a pretty good chance that this is already happening right now. And because of this, we are already seeing this breakdown. And yes, if this were to be true, well, in the coming few days, we are most likely going to be seeing this announcement being made. And when that announcement is going to be getting made, well, that will most likely mark the bottom, which usually these type of announcements usually do mark that bottom. Now, with this news, I'm just speculating, right? Of course, I do not have any insight of this news. I'm just having a look into what's a Bitcoin price right now, which is appearing to be very weak. So I am just having a look into what might be going on right now, because the Bitcoin price is just so weak. So what is going on right now? Because the stock market is still printing all-time high after all-time high. It has been continuously going up. While Bitcoin has been going towards the downside, we are seeing a clear divergence over here. So where can we possibly be seeing a possible bounce coming in for Bitcoin? Well, definitely, in my opinion, while we are seeing this massive breakdown right now, this is going to be the time to be actually paying attention, to be buying up your cheap Bitcoin, to be buying up your cheap altcoins. We are seeing that the market sentiment is right now flipping fearful. The Bitcoin bears look to be getting exhausted with this possible bullish divergence that we might be forming right now. Of course, still, we need to be seeing this bullish divergence actually getting confirmed with a little bit of a bounce in the short term. So let's see how this might be playing out in the short term, but definitely do still keep in mind that Bitcoin got this perfect rejection from this range over here, and like I've talked about in the intro, honestly I was thinking that we were gonna range for a little bit longer inside of this range, until then ultimately choosing a direction either towards the upside or towards the downside. But Bitcoin actually already got this breakout right now at this moment. So yes, like we have been talking about many times, that next support target is going to be sitting at the 57k level, but in my opinion, an even better target to have a look in towards is going to be all the way down towards the 52.7k, because I honestly do not think if we are going to be reaching this level, we are going to be creating a perfect double bottom. I mean, Bitcoin never really does this. Either Bitcoin is going to be breaking this low with an insane wick and then reverse back towards the upside, or it is not going to be even coming close towards this low over here. So in my opinion, either we are going to be bouncing from off this level already, or we are going to be reaching this support target next. But honestly, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter at what level Bitcoin is going to be bouncing. I think we can all agree to the point that ultimately we think that Bitcoin is going to be bouncing, and that ultimately Bitcoin is going to be headed even higher. Now, only if Bitcoin is going to be reaching this order block over here, down towards the 52.7k level over here, I am willing to be opening up a new trading position. So if Bitcoin is going to be coming back towards this level over here, because at that moment, I think that Bitcoin has gotten an insane correction for this cycle, has shaken out everyone, has flipped everyone bearish, and I think that that is just going to be the perfect setup for once again a bounce towards the upside. So yeah, if we are going to be reaching these levels all this low, well then I am once again going to be a leverage trade buyer. Just like I've bought the bottom right over here and also the bottom right over here, I will once again be buying the bottom if we are going to be reaching these levels all this low. Now this time around, I will be trying to exit my Bitcoin position a little bit earlier because of course I was still keeping my trade open right over here. I was still keeping it open right over here. I did not exit my position, leaving me still with closing my trade at break even. So at this moment, if I'm going to be entering my position again, I will be trying to exit my position a little bit earlier. I have learned my lesson from this time around, and from this time around, my entries have been perfect both of the times right over here, but only I just need to be exiting my position a little bit earlier. So yes, of course, Bitcoin on that larger time frame is still getting this massive breakdown, so that is also the reason why I still do think that Bitcoin might be headed a little bit lower in that short term. And just like I've talked about, if we are going to be reaching this level, I do not think that we are going to be seeing this perfect double bottom. So either we are going to be grabbing that liquidity all the way down below, or we are already going to be seeing a fake out right now, and this double top just being a huge fake out. But yeah, in my opinion, only if we are going to be reaching this level of support, it is going to be giving me the best risk to reward trading setup. Now anyways, do still keep in mind that in that short term, Bitcoin is still looking quite weak. We are still trading inside of this downtrend. Like I've said in the beginning of this video, it is looking very bad. It is looking weak. But I think we can all agree on this point that ultimately we are going to be headed higher on the daily time frame. We are still sitting on daily support over here. We are still having that majority of the liquidity sitting at the top side. We are seeing that the majority of the Bitcoin market is actually trading short. So yeah, ultimately, I do think that we are going to be seeing a big bounce. Ultimately, we can all agree that we are going to be headed even higher. So guys, if you are going to be getting interested in trading or buying Bitcoin or altcoins, well, the best place to do so is over on Bybit. And if you are going to be using my link down below, you're going to be eligible for a $40,000 deposit bonus. Without this link, it is only going to be limited up to $400. So definitely make sure to be checking it out. Now, if Bybit is not going to be available in your country, make sure to be checking out these other two links down below. Now, anyways, like I've been talking about, ultimately, I do think that Bitcoin is going to be headed higher. The stock market is printing new all-time high after new all-time high currently, and we are seeing a clear divergence. While Bitcoin is moving towards the downside, the stock market is moving towards the upside. And we have seen this divergence playing out in the past. For example, right over here, Bitcoin was moving towards the downside, while the stock market has been moving towards the upside. And what we have seen right after is that Bitcoin catched up with a huge pump towards the upside. Right now we are seeing something very similar playing out, right? So anytime soon, Bitcoin might just be catching up with the stock market once again. If we are having a look into the dollar, well, the dollar honestly also is looking quite weak. We are going to be seeing a massive breakout incoming for the dollar anytime soon. Now, if this one is going to be breaking towards the downside, we are going to be seeing that last leg towards the downside actually getting initiated. And in that case, in that last leg, I think Bitcoin is going to be moving towards the upside exponentially. Now, the month of July is actually off towards a bad start, right? We are seeing a little bit of a dump for the beginning of the month of July right now. But honestly, this is exactly what we want to be seeing. We want to be seeing a little bit of a wick towards the downside getting created, and then reverse that wick towards the upside with a huge green candle, and that is going to be ultimately very bullish. And while most of these green candles do have a huge wick towards the downside, right, or at least some kind of a wick towards the downside, so it is definitely not very bad that we are getting a little bit of a push towards the downside right now. It could definitely be very good. So yes, also still on that weekly time frame, I think it is still looking bullish. Now, if we are going to be falling down below this level of support, then definitely on that weekly time frame, we need to be quite worried. We need to be having a look into what's the next support levels coming in at a 45k level. But honestly, that is going to be like a minus 40% correction. Have we seen this happening before? Definitely in these previous cycles, we have seen minus 40% corrections. But is it going to be happening again? with these higher market caps, with higher liquidity right now, well, I think it is not going to be that likely anymore. The thing which we are just going to be needing is patience right now. I think that ultimately we are in this range over here and we are about to go freaking exponential, and right now is going to be the time to be paying attention. Right now is not going to be the time to be getting fooled. The Bitcoin dominance is also still consolidating, might be forming a new symmetrical triangle right now, and this might be suggesting that next breakdown or still a leg towards the upside. We need to be monitoring this closely for the altcoins. This is going to be very important. Anyways, guys, with that being said, make sure to be following me over on Twitter to stay up to date about every single market development. And guys, I'll see you in another update video tomorrow morning.